Welcome to Shomach Shova on the Daf Shir sponsor Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're only Basra Daf Kuv Dalet. In the top of Amud Aleph, we have something that happens many times throughout Shas. The Gemara asks a question and brings a raya from the ratio of the Mishnah one way, and from the seif of the Mishnah the opposite way. The Gemara asks, well, what's the happens if a person says that he's giving a base score? He doesn't say midah bechevel, doesn't say exact. But he also doesn't say en chesed yeter, more or less. So then, does he mean more or less, or does he mean exact? So Gemara has been medak from the ratio of the Mishnah. The ratio of the Mishnah says then midah bechevel has to be exact. Mashvi didn't say anything, so it doesn't have to be exact. Says Gemara, let's medak from the next part of the Mishnah. The next part of the Mishnah says en chesed yeser. So then he doesn't have to be exact. Mashvi doesn't say anything. He does have to be exact. So says the Gemara, meaning the ratio sounds one way, the sefer sounds another way. We're not going to bring a raya from here. As the Rashbam explains, really pshat is we could have ignored one of them, but we wanted to bring these two lashonos for the next Mishnah, because the next Mishnah will say, what happens if I say two things that contradict each other? Who do I follow? And adds the Tosfos, one of them is lav davka, I don't know which one, but the reason why I brought it is because of the sefer. And that's what the Shlah brings in Torah Shabbat Klal Rebbe, and he brings there in Ois Kuv Chavtes. This is the rule: whenever I have a contradiction, ratio, the sefer, you don't say Agufa Kasho. One of them is Davka, one of them is not, and it's not a problem. So if you look at the Ran and the Dorim Daf Ayin Beis, there the Gemara brings a similar question and answer, and the Gemara also says the words Elamiholek Lamashvino. And the Gemara adds, as we know in the Dorim, the Lashonos is a little different than the rest of Shas. And the Gemara says, Ireisha davko nosif sefer mishum ratio. Isefer davko nosif ratio mishum sefer. Meaning, the explanation of the Rishonim over here, one of them is davka, one of them is not. Comes the Ran over there and says, I'm just trying to say a lashon that I could make it the opposite. Why am I saying the Lashonis that the Gemara is there medayek? Because I want to have the Reisha, the opposite of the Sefer. I want it to be like a mirror image, Reisha and Sefer. So I started one way in the Reisha, I said the opposite in the Sefer. And that's why I wanted to use specifically this Lashon, because I want it to be the opposite of the other side of the Mishnah. And with Kiv Eiger, then the Gilyon HaShas says there is a way to say the opposite and still say the Chiddush that the Gemara there in the Durham seeks. And the Kiv Eiger stays with the words V'Hashem Yor Einai. I don't understand the Ran. But meaning, seeming from the Ran, that the Ran is not saying like the Rishonim come out in our Sugya and like the Shlah is saying. Seems from the Ran, it's more of a structural thing, meaning I want to have the Reisha and the Sefer opposite from each other. So that's why I'm going to go to the extreme. I'll say Reisha one extreme and Sefer the other extreme, so they're both opposites. To an extent that Kiveger asks, I have another way to say Reisha and Sefer opposites from each other. The Rishonim in our Sugya Mashra, they say no. The reason why we said Reisha and Sefer this way is because we want to have a Diyuk who will explain it in the next Mishnah. And one of them is Lav Davka, and it's fine. Not because I want to make an opposite. So just to point out, the Rishonim in our Sugya Mashra, we could go to the extremes Reisha Sefer for other reasons. And the Ran seems to say the reason why the Reisha and the Sefer are the exact opposites, because in a structural way it's a better. We want to go from one extreme to another extreme, and just that's the discussion. What does it mean? Anyone who wants to join the Shomach Shova email list to WhatsApp group, please email shomachshova@gmail.com.